Allen, the Narrative Podcast, is changing the narrative one episode at a time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Narrative Podcast, and I am your host, Halsey Allen. Welcome all my narrators. Welcome anyone new that may currently be tuning into my podcast. Welcome. So first of all, my narrators, that my core listening audience, my regulars, they already know what my content is and what my podcast is about. So before I get started, I'm going to just give a little brief synopsis of, what my podcast is about and why I'm doing it. So first of all, let's start at the name, the narrative. Excuse me. The narrative, I was drinking some water. Changing the narrative one episode at a time. I lost my train of thought. So the premise behind the Narrative Podcast is because I believe the media portrays a false narrative about original people and original culture. And not only that, they do it intentionally, and they do it to basically portray us in a negative light so they can sell news and push agendas in our community and control the minds of the people. So on my platform, what I'm bringing to the table is basically an answer to the narrative that they try to create about original people and original culture. So I get to the original part in just a second. How I do that? By destroying negative stereotypes about our people and our culture. On my platform, I provide positive frames of reference about our people and our culture. And I really feel it's important to do so because, the media is trying to basically push positive self-images on us and, like I said, push agendas by, flipping the narrative about our people and our culture. So, like, for instance, they're just hyper-criminalized men, they're hyper-sexualized women, they have us making us look like the biggest, most ignorant thugs on the planet. They have our women looking like the most easiest, sluttiest, trashiest women on the planet. And, have us looking dumb and lazy, all the above. So basically what I want to do is just play up stories where we're triumphing in the face of adversities, being good leaders, being good role models, having a good family structure, being entrepreneurs, being educators, being inventors. This is, types of stories I chronicle on my podcast. What I don't do is, play into gossip and drag people through the mud. I do tell the truth on my podcast, though. So, like, sometimes I may deliver some commentary that's kind of harsh about a brother or sister, but I only do that when they are doing something in the eye of the public that kind of makes us all look bad. So I will address that. But as far as like roasting people and putting people down, I don't do that on my podcast. I basically try to uplift and empower, use my platform to uplift and empower and just speak positivity over our people and our culture. So that's very important to do that. And I want the ultimate takeaway from listening to my podcast is the importance of how important it is to share positive content in regards to our people and our culture. So, because basically, anything you put out online is basically your carbon footprint. This is what you're judged by these days when you post something online. Your views, your upbringing, your faith and value system. This is all judged by the content you post online. So if you're always posting like gang culture, drug culture, thought culture, just all kinds of ratchet stuff, this is what people outside of your culture will, judge you by. And not saying we should be worried about people outside of our culture judging us. I'm just saying how important it is to put an accurate narrative about our people and our culture out to the public. It might not be the definitive way to bring about change, but it's definitely a positive way to bring about change and enlighten people that are in the dark about our culture, because there's lots of people that never been around an original man and an original woman. They don't know anything about original culture except the frames of reference that they've been given in the media, in the music, and all those frames of reference are negative. And as I already said, they're negative for a reason. This is to, generate news articles and, to warp the minds of the people about our people and our culture, keeping us out of, getting tangibles in life. Also for, the higher echelons to keep that wealth gap, keep a pretty strong gap between them and us, far financially, as far as wealth goes, financial wealth goes. It plays a big factor in getting loans from the bank, purchasing property, buying real estate, all that, based on these based on these frames of reference they put out about us. So, just because you end up making $1 million, don't think the battle's ever over. After you attain a higher level of wealth, the battle's just really adjoined. And you will find out, some of our higher echelon have gone as so far as to, have to hire white people to buy property and, put up dummy corporations, making the powers be thinking they're ran by white people when in reality they're ran by them. But, that's the extremes we have to go through today because of these negative frames of reference about our people and our culture. Okay, so back to the original part. So recently, I've had an epiphany about the word black, and in my findings, I looked to the dictionary for this revelation. In the English language and pretty much all language in the Latin, because English is derived mostly from Latin and Greek and all that, but in the Oxford and Mediterranean dictionary, I looked up the word black, and I noticed it just had a whole bunch of negative connotations surrounding the word black. First of all, they'll make sure to denote, black people are ones, who have originated, Aboriginal people or originated from Africa, and then they'll just go down all these negative things like Black Day, Black Cloud. Black is also associated with death and the ending of all things, and they also had the audacity to say black is not of God and just all kinds of negative stuff in the dictionary. Don't believe it? Look at any dictionary. Get your phone out, Google it, Google the word black, and you'll see what I'm talking about. All these negative example sentences with using the word black. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But what's not negative is the word original. There's all kinds of positive stuff surrounding the word original, and it's also a more accurate, description of us because we were and are the original men and the original women of this planet. There's not no corner of the globe that we didn't originally inhabit, and everywhere we inhabited a piece of land on this earth, we bought enlightenment, we bought education, we bought medicine, we bought spirituality. We never tried to force our belief systems on anybody. We never tried to denigrate anybody. All we ever did in early times, in early civilization, is try to teach people, love people, build things, and we never tried to put any systems or structure in place. We just mother and father civilization. We just taught people how to do things. So we don't have a history of enslaving people. We don't have a history of being warlike. We don't have a history of forcing our beliefs and our value systems on anybody. We were original. So original means like the first, and original usually means the best. So not saying we're better than anybody or superior to anybody, but we were first. And being first has a lot of perks. So, I think calling ourselves original as opposed to a black just seems more appropriate. So I try to insert the word original in reference to our people and our culture as often as possible. So sometimes I will say the word black when the situation calls for it, like if I'm reading the article or just, trying to get to the point very quickly. Because saying original, it just kind of feels a little funny, but, correct things do feel funny. Like when you do it the right way, it does feel funny at first. So it's going to take some getting used to. But, that's, what I mean by original. When I say original on my platform, it's not a self-loathing or a self-hate thing. It's just a self-realization thing. I realize we are the original man and the original woman of this planet. So, I believe that's our proper moniker. In early civilization, we did not refer to ourselves as black. That was just something given to us by people that did not look like us. They started calling us black. I also believe in the power of words on my platform. And ever since we started calling ourselves black, look at all the things that has happened to us, especially here in America. But I digress. If you're tuning in, you think I'm like reaching, to each their own. But, I think I got a really good point. So I'm going to refer to our people and our culture as original as often as possible during this broadcast. So just putting you up on game about that. Now, my podcast is divided into sections. And the reason why I divided into section is to, keep myself from veering off topic and just rambling and, talking in circles. Basically, when I first started my podcast, I just used to just go in. Like I didn't know what I was doing, so I wasn't getting no numbers. But ever since I broke it down into sections, I saw my numbers go up. So each section has a speaking point. So it got a more concise feel, and it just helps it the content gel for the listeners and you absorb it and you can get something out of it and you got something forward to look something to look forward to my next broadcast. And you can tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to check me out. And it's all wrapped up nice and neat in a package for you, and makes the podcast more easy to digest. So that's why I broke it down into sections. And then I'm gonna dive into the content in a little bit. But first, before that, a disclaimer. This podcast is monetized, so I'm recording right now. I don't know when the ads will start. Sometimes they occur in mid-speech. So just get ready for that. Don't stop listening after you hear a few commercials. It's all for the cause. It's all for the greater good, helping me pay bills. You heard? Yeah. So no further ados. Oh yeah, my tagline. So my tagline for this podcast is the Narrative Podcast, changing the narrative one episode at a time by destroying negative stereotypes about original people and original culture. And how do I destroy the negative stereotypes? I provide positive frames of reference, as I'm about to do right now, diving into the content. So, very first section, starting off, is an open invite to all original people, business owners. If you own and operate your own business or know anyone that operates and owns their own business or has a product or service that needs promotion, please hit me up at passionwebmail@poeticpassion.host. In the subject bar, type promo. In the body of the email, tell me a little bit about yourself, business, product, or service. And that'll make for a better sales pitch. I can I can promote your brand or product or service better the more details you provide me with. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Your educational background. What prompted you into selling whatever product that you're selling? When did you start? Like, people want to know that type of stuff. People want to have that type of rapport with a person that they're spending their money with. They want to know your backstory. Also, if you got a brick and mortar location, the address, directions, hours of operation, email address, if you got a direct way to get to you, like if you got a help for immediate questions, include that, as well as your, website. Just basically anything you would find in the About section, if you do have a website, or that should be in the About section if you have a website. The purpose of me doing this section, promoting the original people businesses, is basically doing my part to help circulate the original people dollar in the original people community. It was with my great anticipated belief, because again, I believe in the power of words, and I'm trying to, excommunicate the word hope out of my vocabulary. So just go to YouTube, Google Dick Gregory and Hope, and you will see what I'm talking about. I already did that on my platform before, so, it made really good sense about using the word hope. But anyway, is with my great anticipation that I attract people that hire their own and do for the community, either have their own nonprofit organization or pay into a nonprofit organization, because I'm really trying to, just promote the upliftment and the embetterment of our people. So that's why I'm doing this section. All right, next section is my contest promotional section. This section is called the Chew on This. It's called the Chew on This because the prize I'm giving away is a bulk supply of your favorite snack. You get a bulk supply of your favorite snack just by participating in the contest topic. And the contest topic is share your most recent shopping while black experience. Now, shopping while black is, I told you I was going to say the word black in certain instances. But anyway, shopping while black is something, a phenomenon that happens here in America and abroad, and it's something that needs to be talked about and addressed. Of course, the ultimate way to not have that happen is that, you don't patronize businesses that don't want your business. But here's the thing. You can't tell by looking who doesn't want your business. Upon entering an establishment, you don't know if they're intolerant of original people until it's already too late, until they already hit you with poor customer service and the attitude and following you around the store, calling security and all that. So you don't know. So it's not like you can tell by looking at everybody. You can't that's not always the case. And yes, you do have to occasionally venture outside of your neighborhood and, patronize businesses that are not owned and operated by original people. But anyway, so to enter the contest, like I said, hit me up at passionwebmail@poeticpassion.host. In the subject bar, type chew on this, and then / or dash, which is ever more convenient for you, shopping while black, or SWB in all caps. In the body of the email, include your shopping while black experience, your mailing address so I know where to send your prize, and then, of course, what type of snack you want. So I know what type of snack to get you, to send to you. And again, this contest is basically an incentive to reward all the people that have been listening from day one and to attract a new listening audience so to keep growing my platform so I can branch out and do other things, help people gravitate towards my content online. It's just the incentive reward. That's what it is. I'm definitely going to be doing more cool things like that as my platform grows. But, this is just kind of within my budget right now. So, it's something. You get something for listening to me. That's what this is. And again, it's the same email address for the business promotion. How I'm separating the two is through the subject bar. So to enter the contest, hit me up at passionwebmail@poeticpassion.host. In the subject bar, type chew on this / or dash, which is ever more convenient for you, shopping while black, or SWB in all caps. Body of the email, share your most recent shopping while black experience, along with your mailing address and what type of snack you would like. And it's not going to just be one thing. Like I said, it's going to be a bulk supply of your favorite snack. So, it's going to be a snack. It's going to be get through a first season of watching something snack. If you're a streamer and you do the binge watching thing, it's going to get you through halfway through a first season or something. I mean, you shouldn't be snacking like that, but I'm just saying, no judgment. But anyway. All right. So you got the gist of that. On to my first section. And in this section, it is titled the highlight section. In this section, what I'm doing is basically highlighting a business owned or operated by original man or original woman. And the purpose of me doing that is basically to put out the positive frame of reference about entrepreneurialism that we can and like and enjoy doing for ourselves. The type of business owners that I highlight are usually, they didn't have a ton of experience in the field of whatever their business, whatever they're selling. They didn't have a ton of experience doing that. They didn't have a ton of money to start out with. They didn't have a ton of education to start out with. So they learned as they went. They just basically stepped out on faith. They didn't have a blueprint. They didn't have a plan. They just knew they wanted to do something. They got tired of doing a 9 to 5, and they just thought of an idea, followed up, and stepped out on faith and made it happen, and paid their dues. And now they're dominating in the field that they're currently in. Then also, to it, they do some type of philanthropy. They, hire their own. They, pay into like a nonprofit organization or have their own nonprofit organization. Some type of job training program, some type of, some type of sense of community where they're helping the community that they're rooted in, like, our children, our elderly, donating raw material to the community, like food to the, disenfranchised or whatever, that type of thing. And then one last qualifying factor, they align up with my theme, and my current theme is the season of fall. So when you think of fall, or at least when I think of fall, I think of, whatever business that they're providing. So now, without further ado, jumping to the highlight section. With my first and only one business this week, I usually do like a gamut of them, like 4 to 5 businesses. When I do the highlight section, I want to have somebody with an interesting story. Like I said, I want to showcase, put that verbal, like, representation of how they started, like they started with nothing. I want to just unearth their background story, so you can see the progress, that they took baby steps, that they hadn't had any idea what they're doing. They just took the plunge and, decided to open their own business. And then also, if they had consequences for doing that, I want to also include that in the story as well, because if you start your own business, you are going to have some setbacks. You are going to have to make some sacrifices. I want to just showcase and highlight the good and the bad of owning your own business. Basically, I just want to, showcase and highlight the journey of being a business owner. So that's what I provide in this section. Just the whole process of it. Like I said, I usually do anywhere to 3 to 4 businesses. Sometimes I've even done 5 in the highlight section. But today I just have one. He had a very interesting background story. And he aligned up with my theme, and he checked pretty much all the boxes. He had an interesting, unique story. I'm pretty sure there's like thousands of companies for this one company that I'm highlighting. And I'm going to get to it just right now. All right, so I said my theme is the season of fall. And, in fall, it usually is the kickoff for the holidays. And the first holiday we have in the fall or the only holiday we have in the fall is Thanksgiving. So, you want to prepare for the Thanksgiving meal, you need utensils. So I just, last week, it should have been a wink what I'm fitting to do, a nod to the business that I'm about to highlight today. I believe I did organic turkey farms on my last segment. So if you're going to buy a bird for Turkey Day, I don't eat meat, but, to each their own. You're going to need something to carve that bird. And then, you're going to need that cutlery. So the business I will be highlighting today is a man that specializes in making kitchen knives. And then don't forget, you're going to want to hang on to the knife because you got Christmas, crema, as we say in our community, or Xmas, right around the corner. So you're going to want to hang on to that knife for the next remixed meal, holiday meal, because like people do turkey on Christmas too. Some people do goose. Some people do prime rib, but you're gonna need something to slice it with. You're gonna need something to slice that protein with. But for my plant-based people, we still need knives too for our, our fruits and our veg. Got to cut stuff up. All right, so our first and only business I will be highlighting today comes to you from Middleton Made Knives. And it's a play on words because the man that made the knives, his last name is Middleton. The creator of this brand is one named Quentin Middleton. And his email address for his knife company is middletonknives.com. He established the business in 2010. You can email him directly if you have some specific questions. info@middletonknives.com. Telephone number 843-860-2314. Okay, so his story, basically what intrigued him, he was always intrigued by knives, specifically swords. That's how he began his track. What lit his fuse. He was like heavy into like sword and sorcery movies, such as Conan the Barbarian, in Star Wars. In Star Wars they didn't use actual swords; it was like lightsabers. But anyway, then it all changed one day. He just by a random chance, and I'm giving you the slimline version, because again, like I said, each one of my sections is divided up into speaking points, so I try to make this time, I just try to make good use of my time on here. I don't want to just drone on and on and on. At the age of 17, he bumped into this guy by the name of Jason Knight, and he learned the craft of making swords. Hunting knives actually was the first type of knife he started making. Hunting knives and swords, but those are the first knives he learned how to forge, how he picked up the craft of knife making. Bear with me just 1 second. I lost my place in the notes. Later on, he decided to go, in a different direction. He didn't want to make hunting knives anymore. He said, it came to him in a vision by God, because he is a Christian, a devout Christian. He believes in Christianity. He got Christian values, so he felt like wrong for making knives for hunting. So he decided to take a different approach. He wanted to learn, how to make kitchen knives instead. Now, I believe it was just the ancestors because, we're original people, we're not warlike. I know in Africa they do hunt, and kill animals, but yeah, that's just my take on it. But yeah. So it really brought him to, a man that specialized in um, making kitchen knives, and he took him under his wing, and he learned all he can learn from him, and then he branched out and started his own business. Took a leap of faith after studying under this guy for about 2 to 3 years. So after he mastered the art of, making kitchen knives, he went into business for himself. He employed his 3 siblings to help. So his family owned and operated. Got Christian faith based values. So he believes in helping out the community, helping out the less fortunate. So that checks all my boxes that I named earlier. So all the people he's planning on hiring in the future will be his own people, his own original people. Right now, it's just him and his brothers, but he's planning out to branching out, making his facility bigger, getting a warehouse and all that. Check 1, check 2. Okay, I'm back. I didn't know what the heck happened. So sorry for that little brief silence. I don't know what the heck happened, but so anyway, like I said, I don't know how long that dead airspace was on because I bumped something. I bumped the microphone and the microphone went off. But anyway, I think I was at the point saying he's a family owned and operated business. He's thinking about branching out, getting a bigger facility. He's a Christian. He has Christian faith-based value system. He considers his business his ministry. So he says he always plays Christian music and praise for people and all that. So he basically wants inclusion into that craft because there aren't many original people own knife makers, especially in his state, which is South Carolina. Yeah, so that's what he's planning to do with his business is just expand it, hire more of his people, and teach the gospel. So, that's very inspirational and motivational. That's what I tried. Those are the stories I try to highlight in my spotlight section to just put out the positive frame of reference that it can be done. Because again, the media just keeps on bombarding us with these negative images about us, depicting us in a negative light, just always showing us living in strife, being, underserved, disenfranchised, disorganized, diseased, just dysfunctional, and all kind of other disses. But that's what I try to dispel in the spotlight section is just showing somebody triumphing in the face of adversity and proving it can be done despite being shown that it cannot be done by the powers to be. So that's the end of the spotlight section. I'm gonna give a warm round of applause for Quentin Middleton and Middleton Made Knives. All right, tearing it up on the time. I think I'm getting better and better. Even though I had only one section, business section today, like I'm still doing pretty good with my time because my goal is to just try to keep it an hour, like not exceed 1 hour. Because when I first started, I used to like have 2 and 3 hours. I would go in, just like talk. But like I said, you know, now my podcast is more concise, more to the point. I'm shooting straight to the meat. I'm hitting all my speaking points and, packaging it nice and neat for an hour digestible block for you. So now we're at the point of my spotlight section. And my spotlight section basically is a section where I'm spotlighting a prominent figure. It's usually an entertainer, a recording artist, actor, actress, comedian, athlete, basically just somebody in the eye of the public. So basically in this section, I'm giving them their roses while they're here for, their work in the community, putting their feet in the soil, donating to the cause, being, a good stand-up brother, a good stand-up sister, hiring their own, doing some type of philanthropy, some type of humanitarianism. I know humanitarianism isn't a word, but, doing like humanitarian type stuff. Basically just championing the cause, making us look good, and a good representation of us in some type of capacity. So when you look at them, it's not just stereotypical right out the gate. They got a good body of work. They do good things for the community. They they use our platforms to speak on our causes, speak truth to power unapologetically, and just basically try to be a good representation of us in some small capacity, either by the way they carry and conduct themselves or the work that they're doing, as far as like activism and philanthropy. So, having said all that, I also say I started the wave for spotlighting because before I added the spotlight section to the narrative podcast, nobody on the internet, nowhere was spotlighting anyone until your brother Halsey started a spotlight section on the narrative podcast. Papa my collar. Not that it's a competition or anything. Like I said, my ultimate takeaway, my ultimate mission with this podcast is basically to uplift and empower us. And what better way to do that is to, create the healthy habit of saying something nice about somebody. We don't say nice things about each other often. When we go online, it's always, we're going back and forth online, talking bad about each other, trying to drag each other through the mud, for fame, for a few seconds of fame, to be a trending topic for the clicks and the views, and just basically, be a hot mess online, and we don't have to do that. We can celebrate each other, you know, celebrate the brotherhood, celebrate the sisterhood. We don't got to talk bad about each other and just give it up for, be an admirer of someone's work, be an admirer of them, the way they carry and conduct themselves. They don't even have to necessarily be celebrities. They can be people in your family, somebody you pass in the hallway each day, or somebody you see just, around town or something, minding their own business, being a good example, helping people where they can help at. We don't always have to be, dogging each other, calling each other out of our names. You know what I'm saying? We don't always have to be roasting each other. So, imitation is the best form of flattery, and I'm flattered by how many spotlight sections that I'm seeing online now. So if you listen to my podcast, that's proof that people are listening, because so many people are doing it now. And, that makes me feel good. And I anticipate to keep the ball rolling. I anticipate more people saying nice things about brothers and sisters, like giving it up for them, rather than talking bad about them and trying to drag them through the mud and roast them. Like, we're all human beings. It ain't about being perfect. It ain't about being fake and phony. It's just really just being humane to each other. Like, we're humane and forgiving to every race and ethnicity of people except each other. Now, a large part of that is because we've been programmed and conditioned not to, but we gotta, break that programming and just start like learning how to love up on each other. So, yeah, that's why I do this section. Without any further ado, the spotlight for this week on the Narrative Podcast is Mr. Nate Parker. So Nate was born on November 18th, 1979 in Norfolk, Virginia. And again, I'm just giving you the streamlined version. This is way more like, there's way more intricate details of his life, but just keeping in stride with my time limit I got set for myself. I'm just, skimming over and just giving the highlights of his life, So attended Churchland High and Great Bridge High, where he wrestled at both of them. Got a wrestling scholarship, Penn State U in 1999. He got his big breakout role in 2006 in Rome and Jewel. That's where he was discovered. He was actually discovered, I done skipped over a little section. In college. So, but, the person that discovered him got his breakthrough, or after he graduated college, he got discovered as an actor. He was he was employed as a computer programmer. And then he got him his big breakthrough role, Rome and Jewel, in 2006. And basically it's a hip hop version of Romeo and Juliet. But, that's a Shakespeare play, and Shakespeare, where he got all his inspiration from. So it was already, a play about us to begin with. So I don't know why they... But anyway, that's where he got his big break. And as they say, after that, it's a wrap. He's been nothing more than an inspiration, nothing more than a credit to the craft of acting, all since he's been an actor. Just one big breakthrough role after another one. His most or greatest project was Birth of a Nation, the story about Nat Turner. Again, putting that narrative out. That was a movie that had to be made. It was made on faith. You know, he came up out of his pocket for the budget. The film, like almost every film company in Hollywood, tried to, you know, do everything they can to halt production, but he ended up making the movie anyway. Um, you know, we had millions of Nat Turners in the, you know, slave times. But again, they always want to have the narrative of the cowering slave, like we was all scared and we was all submissive during that time, that we didn't fight back. And in reality, there were so many plantations burnt to the ground, so many like mass like murders during the slave times, not depicted. Like they don't like putting that in the you know, reference source material in school. They want to just keep this image of the submissive slave and keep on putting that out there, that we all, for one, descended from slavery, that we all came from Africa. But that's a whole nother kettle of fish. But basically, that film helped kind of destroy the negative stereotype about the submissive slave, that we was just all, you know, scared, wasn't trying to fight for our freedom for ourselves, that we was like sneaking away, not just full on just, you know, doing the kick door method. Like, we wish they would try to stop us. We had a whole lot of stories like that back then, but you know, that's the one to date that was like the most impactful slave movie to date. He also founded the Nate Parker Foundation in 2015, based out in New York City. In 2016, the foundation established the Nate Parker Summer Film Institute. Basically, this for like it was basically like his version of the indie films, like inviting HBCU filmmaker students to, you know, get their projects off the ground, giving them the tools that they need to be a successful film producer, and to get them the exposure they need to get their projects out, basically. So he's been providing opportunity, been being a good example, representing us well to the highest. I can go on and on and on about all the work he's done in the community, about, you know, him speaking out on our cause, on our condition here in America, and, you know, exemplary brother. And I hope he just keeps up the good work, keeps on inspiring, keeps motivating, keeps on laying the foundation down for future generations, like he's currently doing. And, you know, he's like, I can't ever say I've been disappointed by any project that he's done so far. So he's definitely come full circle as an actor, full circle as a director, been providing opportunities, and, you know, he's definitely changing the narrative in film. So give it up a warm round of applause for Mr. Nate Parker. All right, that will conclude the spotlight section. Now I'm off to the health and wellness section of the Narrative Podcast. In this section, what I'm doing is basically promoting health and wellness, the healthy, active, fit lifestyle. And the reason why I'm doing it, because our people stay at the target for so many diseases and you know, unhealthy activity. Not necessarily, you know, that we are the leading people, but it's just like the powers that be try to assign us diseases and, make us the face of, whatever ailment is coming out. And then another factor is there's so many things that they're putting in the air, in the water, in our food that, wreak havoc on our unique cellular structure, specifically our melanin. They want to rearrange it. They want to break it down. They want to dismantle it and completely destroy it. They want to completely destroy us. So in this section, what I'm doing is just sharing ways to, armor up. Because it's not only just with the food, like I said. Also, when I started the podcast, it's the things they do, they put in the media, they wreak havoc on your subconscious. All these little things that they do to wreak havoc on your psyche. All these little signals that they send in the literature, also in books too, the way we're depicted. All that plays a factor into weakening your immune system. So in this section, I'm just, basically promoting total mind and body wellness. So not that I'm a doctor or a herbalist or a guru or anything like that. I'm just a regular brother that saw a need and providing need to my people. Just putting out the information. If you get something out of it, cool. If you don't, then just chalk it up to everything ain't for everybody. So, and in this section, what I usually do for like food, I tell the health benefits of a fruit, vegetable, plant, herb, elixir, roots. If it's like something you can ingest, physical exercise, mental exercises, meditation, wellness, mindfulness, metaphysical stuff that you can just use and employ to stay healthy, active, and fit. So basically, I'm just trying to help my people stay armored up with the health and wellness section. So this week in the health and wellness section is the health benefits of Himalayan pink salts. So the health benefits of Himalayan pink salt, first of all, it's from the Himalaya. What did he say? Jerome said, Martin, I'm a player from the Himalayas. Yeah, so it is from Asia, on the continent of Asia, the Himalayas. Has loads of health benefits, helps lower the blood sugar, helps balance the body's pH levels, because if your pH levels are balanced, that aids into strengthening the body's natural defense mechanisms, specifically your immune system, your white blood cells. So it's a good thing to always try to make sure your pH balance is thoroughly aligned, especially our ladies, because, that pH is off. You're going to get some weird smells. Definitely, it also helps with joint pain, helps with mood, helps aids in digestion, and then also you can just use it topically too. You can use it for right on your skin as a exfoliate, help you get your the dead skin, remove dead skin from your face, from your feet. It also helps detoxify, draw toxins out of your body. So definitely you need to check into getting you some pink Himalayan salts. Now keep in mind there's like whole lot of you know, fake pink Himalayan salt out there because it's like becoming more readily available. So the only ingredient in the pink Himalayan salt that should be in the pink Himalayan salt, when you twist the back, it should say pink Himalayan salt. And be mindful where you're getting it from because some of it is not the original real deal article. They're making it from other chemicals and things of that nature, putting additives and preservatives in it. So you want the organic, all natural product. Don't cheap out on that because like probably the more expensive it is, the more real it is. Because you definitely don't want to be getting your pink Himalayan salt from the Dollar Tree or other places. Like, don't cheap out on that. It's worth it. You get so many medicinal health benefits from it. But like everything, you don't want to overdo it. Do it in moderation, maybe like a tablespoon. You can also gargle with it. It's a great anti-inflammatory. It helps loosen up all that, anything you might have in your throat, all that phlegm, all that mucus. And like I said, it's a great detoxifier. Draws out all those toxins out of your body. If you make it into like a foot bath, just some pink Himalayan salt and some water as hot as you can stand it. And maybe like 1 or 2 drops of essential oil, like some mentholatum or some mint, for that to help, circulate the blood flow. But definitely get some Himalayan pink salt in your life. It is a lifesaver, literally. So that'll do it for the health and wellness section. And then on for my speaking point of the day. My speaking point of the day is usually just I address current issues, sometimes globally, or I really try to address issues that specifically in our community that relate to us, or if it's globally, I address it and unpack it from our perspective. Because history has taught us, basically, if you don't tell your story, you'll have your story told for you. So basically, that's what I'm doing in this section in the speaking point of the day. I'm just basically telling our story from our perspective on our own terms and conditions. In this section, what I'm doing is controlling the narrative. So I'm not letting them spin it the way they want to spin it. So on rare occasions when I don't have a speaking point ready, I just might, go off the top of the head with an observation about our people and, speak briefly from my heart on that. And I think today is kind of one of those days because my speaking point is really broad. So I might be kind of all over the place, but I'm trying my best to keep a centralized point without just, rambling on and on and on. Okay. All right. So, speaking point, well, one of my points is, so they're at it again. They got, I know you just heard it, Dave Chappelle is the latest to come under fire from the ADL, the Adult Dickhead League. Excuse me, I try not to curse on here, but that's what they're acting like with this censorship stuff. So just recently, he told a joke, and they tried to say the joke he told was anti-Semitic, of course, and they pulled it from he was on SNL, and they yanked you know, they yanked it off the lineup where it would have appeared, but it's been surfacing and trending all over line. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that because if you know, you know, and we already know about the double standards. It's okay, you know, to lie online. It's okay to, call ourselves niggas, hoes, and bitches. But as soon as you say, we can't call ourselves Israelites and we can't call ourselves Jews. But we can call ourselves hoes, niggas, and bitches. So, like, I'm going to just try to punch it up and let you hear what he said for yourselves. And of course, I don't own the rights to it because I'm going to the tube. I'm going to see if it's on the tube. If it's not on the tube, I'm going to just move on to my next speaking point. See if this is the one.
This time I was like, you know what? Let me see what's going to happen first. Let's see what's going on. Can't even remember how it started. Vaguely, I remember it started with a tweet, strange tweet. It was like, I'm feeling a little sleepy. I'm going to give me some rest, but when I wake up...
I'm trying to get right to it, y'all.
Good parents. It was fun and funny.
And then
we woke up, he went on Drink Champs again. This time, he was on one. He was mad about something. He said, I can say anti-Semitic things, and the beaters can't drop me. Now what? Adidas dropped that nigga immediately. Ironically, Adidas was founded by Nazis, and they were offended. I guess the student surpassed the teacher. It's a big deal. In Brooklyn, show business rules. There's a rule, the rules of perception. If they're black, then it's a gang. If they're Italian, it's a mob. But if they're Jewish, it's a coincidence, and you should never speak about it.
Okay, yeah, that was the clip. So, like you said, he said what he said. So I ain't gonna repeat what he said. We heard it. So, like, it's starting to get ridiculous now. It's really starting to get ridiculous now. That little joke was anti-Semitic. Come on, man. All right. So my next speaking point. So we know it's voting time. It's midterms. Midterms just ended. It's trending now. Everybody's shocked that Trump is running for 23. Like, why is that a shocker? It's like we are like, after everything that happened to us, then when he was during his first term, and everything that's happening currently during the Biden administration, like, we shouldn't be shocked about anything at this point. But I guess my speaking point is all we should be concerned about politically, if you believe in the diplomatic process, the voting process, what's in it for me? Cause like, yeah, we got in our feels big time when homie was in the White House, but let's talk about it. He said some racially offensive stuff. He racially offended us like on a daily, us and many other groups on a daily basis, but especially us with his mouth, the things he was saying with his mouth. But if we're gonna keep it super real, you gotta look at some of the policies that were in play when he was in the White House. So, like a lot of us that was incarcerated got out. I know I got a whole lot of relatives that got out during his term. That's something he did. He might have caused a little pandemic, but during it, he made sure that people got their unemployment. Like Nancy Pelosi tried to stop that. He signed executive orders making sure people got the unemployment, even though he was like probably like the biggest thing that caused it. I'm definitely not saying vote for him, so don't misconstrue. But like, he did do some positive things too that kind of helped our community a little bit. So we can't just say he was a total scumbag and we didn't get nothing out of it. We might not have like how he worded it when he was running, when he was like, well, you got no other choices. I say one thing, he was truthful. We didn't have no other choices. Like what's the worst that could happen? I think we saw the worst that could happen though. With when the looting starts, the shooting starts. When he was saying foul little reckless comments like that, and back in the Proud Boys and all that, and all these little dog whistles and all that. But I'm just speaking policy wise. That's the only thing we need to be worried about is policy. What's in it for us? We can't keep on wasting our time if we believe in this voting stuff. Because like, if you know your true like political, like if you don't gotta be a political science major, but you should know about voting and like how certain parties started and whatnot. And so like, the true origins of the Democrats that are in power right now, their party, and what they meant for our people. So I don't like, it's all some BS to me, but what I'm saying, like, my point that I'm trying to make is we shouldn't be in our fields. We should just be looking at who got something for us. Because the guy in power now, he had the audacity to tell, Q when he was drafting the CWB to talk to him after the elections. Now the orange guy, he talked to him. He called it something else before, the elections, but he did talk to him. So talk to me after the election. Talk to me. Some people in our community just went to him to speak to him, got called sellouts and coons, like just trying to dialogue with him to see where his head's at. Like, again, we got to get out of our feelings and get what's in it for us. This is like business. As the old saying goes, it's business, it ain't nothing personally. Personally, I think he's a moron. Personally, I think he's an a-hole. Personally, I think he's a racist. Personally, I think, all kinds of, I can just go on like really roasting him up real good, like everybody else roasts him up real good. But at the end of the day, You gotta look at what's in it for us, what's in it for our community. What do we want in our community? So if you believe in voting, it always got to come back, whether it's for dude or whoever appears on the ballot, during the general election, what's in it for me. And the main thing we should be wanting as a people, as a whole, united, is the reparations. Like, we can't straddle the fence on this. Like, if you're a Republican, if you're a Democrat, if you're, independent party, conservative, liberal, grassroots, whatever the hell, alt left, alt right, red, blue state, I don't care. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever you are, the conversation should be reparations. Period. Period, point blank. It's not a handout. It's something owed to us. And whoever's talking that talk, saying the R word, we don't even got no politicians saying the R word. But if one comes along saying that R word, reparations, we need to be all over that. Like, fuck what they're, forget what they're, I try not to curse on here, but I'm kind of passionate today. Forget their background, forget, what they've said or done in the past, because all these politicians are scumbags anyway. Get what we got coming to us. That's not saying sell your integrity, sell your vote. Especially if you got a 9 to 5 job, you can't get on the moral high ground where I got to keep my integrity. You put on a fake dog and pony show every time you clock in, working with jerks and losers you wouldn't talk to outside of that place. So what are you talking about? So basically, we got to just make the most of whatever option we're given, and keep steering the conversation in reparations. Stay on all these political people we need to stay on. Organize chapters locally. If there's no conversation of reparations going on in your states, we can't waver. We can't bend. We can't fold. We got to keep, we got to keep on the path. You know what I'm saying? We got to get what's in it for us. For us. What's in it for us? That's the mindset we got to keep. Who's ever got something in it for us, that's what we need to hop on. So I'm not it's not a Trump endorsement. I'm just saying he did do some things during his administration that did kind of benefit us. It came with a whole lot of BS. It came with a whole lot of racism, overt racism. It came with a whole lot of rhetoric. It came with a whole lot of jargon and just idiocy. But we did get some stuff out of it. We did get some stuff out of it. And then one more time again, it's not a Trump endorsement. I'm not saying go vote for Trump. I'm just saying we did get some stuff. Also, just to, always keep the conversation during this political stuff, what's in it for me? And the thing we want, or we should all be wanting, we should be all on the same page, on one accord, all across the board, is reparations. It's not a handout, it's what's owed to us. This country was founded on our blood, sweat, and tears. America would not exist without us. They owe us. Period. Period. Mic drop, all that. No getting around it. You do owe us. And so who's ever sounding they can put the plan in motion to get it, that's who we need to hop on. And then, of course, I already said about, the voting process and a couple lives ago, but just to reiterate my points of that, we also need to be prepared to just, follow up with it. You can't just like put your vote out there, just cast a ballot, and then don't do nothing else after you cast your ballot. And then just sit at home complaining, well, I voted and did nothing happen. Like, we got to make something happen. Got to put the feet to the concrete. You there? So that's all I want to say on that. So what else is going on in the news? Black Panther 2. I'm hearing a lot of negative things. I haven't actually seen the movie. The trailers that I've been watching, can't say I'm loving them. Not just because, Chadwick's not in it. Chadwick left, like he's deceased, but even before he died, he had already kind of made it clear that he possibly couldn't be on board for a sequel. I think, Disney had plenty of time to find a replacement for Chadwick before he passed. Like, he was already kind of openly not feeling a sequel for Panther. Like his last couple interviews, like he was already over it for Black Panther. So, and as I said when I gave my film review on The Woman King, I said, if they turn this into the Shuri movie, and this before I even seen any trailers for Black Panther 2, it was just like the logo. That was what was advertised in that pocket when I did the commentary for The Woman King. I said, if they turn this into the Shuri movie, it's going to be a big flopperoo. And like this already, all over the internet, they're talking about big flopperoo. Is like high caliber of acting is going on. They got the boy Winston Duke. He returned from Baku. I'm not sure about the synopsis, the plot. I have to Google that to be sure, but I'm pretty sure that it has something to do. I think like, back in when they did the end games, like probably like T'Challa when they did the snap, like in the Spider-Man Homecoming, they called it the flicker or something like that. I think like probably T'Challa didn't come back from the flicker. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen any trailers, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Disney be pushing agendas. Just from what I'm seeing, it's seeming like a real feminist movement type movie. From the trailers that I've seen, it's seeming like they're trying to really, get that demographic, and they're really trying to push the agenda of, separating the original man from the original woman, which is, that was the core of, why that worked in the first place. Because, Black Panther was a man. He was defending his home. He was an alpha male. He was a heterosexual male. He was defending and his homeland. He did have a whole lot of female support that walked beside him. They wasn't like working underneath him, and he wasn't like being like chauvinistic or trying to denigrate the women like we did in early civilization. We didn't denigrate our women. We didn't try to make them our slaves. But it's seeming like that's where Disney's trying to flip the narrative, trying to like, make it seem like you don't need a man, like, woo, girl power, strong warrior women. And, sisters, they saying these days they don't like to be called, strong, because that's setting them up for failure. That's setting them up for the enemy to like do stuff to them, like separate them from us, like put us in jail and do whatever they want to do, when in reality they are delicate, they are gentle, they need to be loved, they need to be nurtured, they need our strength as men. So I'm just not liking those undertones. But I'm gonna definitely see it, and I'm gonna keep an open mind when I give my review. But like I said a few lives ago, like if it's the Shuri movie, they in trouble, and I'm not seeing positive reviews yet. So I'm gonna give my little stank on it soon, like probably before the holiday. I'll see it before or after the holiday, but movie review for Black Panther 2 coming up. So spoiler alert. I think that's all I want to got for my speaking point of the day. And I'm around this bad boy out with my final thought of the day. All right. This one didn't actually come, well, it came to me on my own, but it got cemented. Like my point came all full circle when I saw this. Like I was already going to make it my point, but then I saw something online that just made it powerful. Like, yeah, because I was kind of conflicted on what my speaking point of the day is. But anyway, for the new listeners, I'll tell you what my I already said speaking point. Excuse me. I'm on my final thought section now. So my final thought of the day is just something inspirational, motivational, a gem, a pearl of wisdom, just something to inspire critical thinking. Um, that's what I do in this section, and it's like my final section of the podcast, and then I end it, plug whatever I got going on, and let you enjoy your day. So, all right, my final thought of the day is curveball. Like in life, you just got to watch out for that curveball. Um, they're inevitable. You're just going to have things in life that you're not prepared for. And so the point where I'm going with it is basically perseverance and keep getting up. If you can look up, you can get up. Because that curveball is going to come regardless. There's nothing you can do about it. Like whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen. And you got to just keep on going through it and playing through your pain and, just bringing it home. So basically, adding on to that, be more proactive and less reactive. Don't react to every bad thing that happens to you. Don't react to all the bumps in the road. Don't react to like all this bad stuff that happens to you. Now, before I get too far about all the other points I want to make, I want to just say where I knew this should be my speaking point today. Recently, the voice actor that played Batman had passed. Kevin Conroy, I think it's like a couple weeks ago. But before he passed, he started doing like inspirational, motivational videos. That's kind of weird. Like, I don't know. I think some people know when it's their time. Just a thought. But yeah, he started doing like motivational speeches talking about the curveball. And I was like deeply inspired. Like this is like, and that speech came a couple weeks before he passed away, and he wasn't like talking in his Batman voice. He was talking in his just regular, this is me, Kevin Conroy voice. Yeah, that was real super deep. Let me see if I can get it. So he articulated way better than I could. Let me see. Going back to the tube, of course I don't own the rights. I'm going to see if I can play it for you. If not, I'm going to just wrap it up. All right, I think I got it. This is like his last speech before he passed away. He had started doing motivational speeches.
Wouldn't it be great if you could? It's really extraordinary. So I think Batman has a special place in people's hearts. And I think the reason is because of all the superheroes, he's the only one who's actually not a superhero. He has no superpowers. He can't fly. He can't bend metal. He can't see through walls. He's a human being. He's a man. He's like you and me. I mean, he does extraordinary things, but he does them through force of his will and through his physical strength and his passion. And that inspires me because it means that you don't have to have superpowers to have a positive effect.
I don't think this is the one.
Gift.
Let me see if this is the one.
Stephen Krasner, this is Batman, calling you from the Library of Wayne Manor. This is I've got them all. Joker, because I've been doing this role for 30 years. So I've been collecting these things for 30 years. It's been a crazy ride. Because you never know where an opportunity is coming from. Now, I know you want to become an actor. You are so interested in the business, acting and filming. And as you know, it's a brutal business. It's brutal. But the thing that's unique about it is you never know where an opportunity is coming from or when an opportunity is coming. I've been doing Batman for 30 years. I'm 66. I know I don't look it, but I'm kidding. So I was 36 when I started doing it. I was a busy actor. I was a stage actor. I was a television actor. I was a theater actor originally in New York, Broadway, off-Broadway. I was doing the traditional actor route. But I wasn't making a consistent living. It was always very hard, a struggle. And then Batman fell into my lap. And, it just became 30 years of something very reliable. There were no guarantees. They could always hire other actors, which they do sometimes. But they keep coming back to me, which is very flattering for me. But it's just a good example of how you never know what this business is going to bring you. You really don't. And so you have to have incredible belief in yourself. And everyone has a unique persona to bring to their acting. We're not all young leading men. We're not all handsome.
I don't think that was the one either, but anyway, the clip I was watching, he said something about the curveball of life, and basically, life's going to throw things at you that you're not ready for, that you can't, see ahead of time. But basically, when it does, don't let it shake your faith, and deter the path that you're on. Let it strengthen you. So curveballs are just going to happen. In life, there's always a gotcha. There's always that little misnomer, that fine print, like that thing people just kind of glaze over that tell you, but without really telling you all the details about it. You'll just have to experience it for yourself, whether it's a relationship, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get married, but then they don't tell you all what's coming with the marriage. You got to deal with the in-laws, her or him every single day. Just devoted to that one person all the time. New jobs, all the nuances about a new job. That you talk all that talk in the interview and then get there and damn, every single day with this. Finances, up, down, that curveball, especially the stock market. It's up one day, it's down one day. You make a bundle, you lose a bundle. Curveball. But anyway, it's like when that curveball hits, you just got to know how to hit the curveball. The way you hit the curveball is to not focus on it. because it's possible to hit a curveball in baseball. You just got to trust your instincts, basically. So when opposition comes at you in life, when that curveball comes at you, knock it out the park by not focusing on it. So that'll end it for this episode of the Narrative Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, I'm your host, Halsey Allen. I broadcast every single weekend, so check me out every single weekend for a full episode of the Narrative Podcast. Please download this episode and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast to help keep my content growing, so I can add more stuff and help keep my platform growing. That's the best way you do it. Also, I broadcast during the week a random live. I never know what days I'm going to broadcast live. So just stay tuned every single day. The best way to know when I'm live is subscribe to my YouTube channel, Halsey Allen on YouTube. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss me when I'm live. Also on Twitter, it broadcasts directly to Twitter when I'm live. So follow me on Twitter. I stay good at Halsey on Twitter. And you will never miss a live. Like I said, it's just random lives. I never know what day I'm going to do it. So you definitely want to tune in every single day, wherever you get your podcast from. Also, I have my own poetry blog called Halsey's Poetry Corner at www.mrhalseysblogs.com. So please check that out. And the way you support that is repost all my poems to your, or any poem that you like from that link to, all your platforms online, to your YouTube, to your Facebook, to your TikTok, whatever like platform, whatever your preferred platform you have, post the link. Halsey's Poetry Corner, one of my poems from Halsey's Poetry Corner to any of your platforms online. Haven't done it in a while. I'm trying to get my consistency back, but I actually did post one today, and it is titled Not That Deep. So go read that today on Halsey's Poetry Corner. Like I said, share it on your Facebook, share it on your Instagram, TikTok, WordPress, Reddit, whatever you got, share it. What else I got going on? I just recently wrote a book of poetry. It's titled The Black Card. It's in the Poetizer library. So you just go to the Poetizer site, go to their library, and purchase you a copy. It's $25, $64 plus tax. Go on and take that gift home for the holidays. That'll make an excellent, Christmas gift. It's a good coffee table read. Very portable, sleek, streamlined design. 30 poems, very inspirational, very creative. You will love it. It's titled The Black Card. You better buy it or you're going to get your black card revoked. Go check it out. Purchase it today. Thanks everybody for listening. It's been another episode of the Narrative Podcast. I'm your host, Halsey Allen, signing off. Narrative Podcast, Halsey Allen. Check me out. Download all episodes of the Narrative Podcast hosted by me. See you next week. Peace, love, and light. Narrative Podcast, Halsey Allen, signing off. And it's like that.
set your place on fire. Put a little bit of shit, put a little bit of shit, get a little bit of gasoline. Put a little bit of shit,
Listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.